not the intro. It was me.
Oh,
I know. Because I did kind of like a segue. Really more of a technical blend. We have, of course, Quarter Black Garrett. Audio Wade and Gerald A. is here. I appreciate him being here. Yeah. My half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond, is not here. To run interference for me, which means that I have no protection, is Even Brendan. How are you, sir?
Good. Good morning.
Good. I'm glad you were. Where did you get those masks?
I got them from Origin, Maine.
Origin, Maine.
Nice.
Yeah. This is the guy who climbs all the trees and the poles, and he had no idea he was going to be on the show until just now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, welcome.
Not really. I do want to know though, who chose? Show your pajamas there, Even Brendan. Show your pajamas. Yeah. Did you make the silk selection?
There were two options, and one of them was like.
One of them was not silk.
One of them was not silk.
When there's silk, you go silk.
He opted to go Def Comedy Jam pajamas.
Yeah.
And by the way, you, Audio Wade, you could both be a Home Alone color palette. It's all green and burgundy.
Nice.
And that burgundy is, I think, exclusive to morning robes.
Yeah.
I don't think that color is used for anything else other than filthy old robes. You're like, how long have I had this robe?
Right.
And why is it burgundy?
Yeah, nothing else wants to occupy that part of the color wheel.
No, nothing else wants to.
Exclusive.
Everybody from Big Robe got together and said,
By the way,
no,
the color wheel
burgundy.
is a sham. It's a hoax.
Really?
Some of them are just shades. So it is MugClub Quarantine. That's a hashtag. Use a hashtag MugClub Quarantine so we can knock out that bastard Jim Acosta. I think he's trending right now. The promo code is Quarantine. You get $30 off, which is it's a big deal for it's a big deal for us. Bigger deal for you. So use that promo code. You get $30 off and go to loudwithcutter.com/schedule every night at 8 p.m. all of April.
Yeah.
And of course, Good Morning MugClub Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We will be talking about Donald Trump wanting to defund the World Health Organization. Chris Cuomo.
Yeah. Fredo?
Which is kind of tough because what do you do when I do What a POS segment with Chris Cuomo? It's almost like I've explored all of the nooks and crannies.
You really have.
Like at this point, I had to do underwater spelunking.
There are new nooks. New crannies.
There are no new nooks.
There's a lot of
Chris Cuomo, he's positively convex. There's nothing.
Nookless.
There's nothing to unpeel. There isn't even a breakfast nook.
Oh no,
none at all. And what else are we going to be talking about? Well, we'll also be talking about just showing some of the video from the best Trump presser of this week. And your chat,
century.
Your chat. Let me know if you would like. I've thought about us just running the Trump press briefings, just because I want to do the job that the media won't when CNN cuts out from it. So I know it's not what we do. Obviously, it's an entertainment comedy channel, but maybe here or at Crowder Bits where you can subscribe. We might just run a feed from one of the public networks.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be defunded so
Let me know what you think. Well, what do you mean defunded?
Demonetized, sorry.
Do you work here?
Look, the Sheikh is not
who do
going
you
to be
think is
happy.
signing? Who do you think is signing the fronts of your checks?
Ben Solomon?
It's not
Is that
Google. Speaking of which, that's our first story. I think Stevie's son can bring it up. That Donald Trump is putting his name on the checks. Which people are really upset about. The Treasury said that it won't create a delay, but honestly, who knows?
No,
I think it's petty and stupid. And Donald Trump shouldn't care, but neither should you. You're getting a check. That you did nothing for other than stay at home.
Yeah.
You're getting a snow day check.
Can we call them Trump checks?
Can we call them Trump checks?
Please,
Pence is like, I'd like to put my name on one of those. No,
Pence.
No one would buy it.
I believe you all got your Trump checks.
You don't even have sideburns.
you can't be trusted.
Really quickly, let's tune into. There we go. That over. Let's see what CNN has going on. Sanjay Gupta is there, as well as a canary.
A canary.
And Weird Al.
I was going to say Weird Al and or Slash. Didn't recognize him without the top hat.
Not 100% sure there.
Okay, so we'll get to Donald Trump defunding who, and also we'll be playing Hipster or Hobo, I should say. You can play along with us. So send in your chat at the Blaze. I know the chat kind of sucks and that it doesn't give you a username, but just type in your name in your chat. But first, always want to thank our sponsors. Today's show is brought to you by Bed. People ask beds. I wrote this very poorly, but we do appreciate the support. Beds. People ask how we prepare for the show, by the way. And really, I don't know how we would do it here for Good Morning MugClub without beds.
Right, and you use this product pretty often, right?
Almost every day.
Wow.
I use a bed almost every day.
That is very useful.
And for many hours. A day. So to check out this product, go to your favorite search engine and type in beds. Use the promo code 8Zs. That's Google Beds or Bing.
DuckDuckGo.
Beds.
That works too.
8Zs.
8Zs, very important.
And you will get nothing off. Brendan, do you use a bed or do you sleep? I imagine you sleep upside down like Michael Keaton in the
got
first
out of my
Batman.
bed 30 minutes ago. Actually.
Really?
Oh.
That's a great thing to tell your employer.
Right, yeah, but we thought you prepped.
I put in zero
We
effort.
call you in late.
Unfortunately for me, you're a genius, so I can't fire you, but don't use it as leverage.
I don't know that that's true.
Oh, by the way, this is something that my friend Johnny Boy and I have been doing. I realize we talked about it off air. We haven't talked about it on air.
Right.
You're such a narc, Gerald. If you tell on me on this, I
Why
swear
am
to you,
I the narc?
Because you've always said that you would tell on me even if I committed a righteous crime. So I have not harmed
You
anybody,
said
but
if
we
you
have
murdered somebody, I would put you in.
pedophiles. I knew that would shut you up. Pedophiles. Registered sex offenders. What one of my good friends, and I swear, audio wait, if you sell me out, I know you won't. I know you won't, because snitches get stitches. Which is a horrible message for your community, by the way.
No, it's not.
But you got to go with it.
Johnny Boy and I have found pedophiles, and we don't do any. We don't commit any crimes other than disturbing the peace.
Okay, that's good.
We drive out in front of their houses at night and honk incessantly until we see the lights turn on. But I know you're thinking, what about the other people in the neighborhood? We find corner lot pedophiles.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. We have found multiple corner lot
Like
pedophiles.
staking them
They
out
do
and
really well
stuff.
for themselves in the real estate market.
Yeah.
I would love for there to be some kind of a,
Nobody wants to be around
study,
them.
a meta-analysis of pedophiles on corner lots.
Tweet
It's so
using
they
the
can-
hashtag annoy the pedophiles.
Annoy the pedophiles.
Annoy the
I want
pedophiles.
everyone to do this. Find the pedophiles in your neighborhood.
Oh my
and I don't
gosh.
mean someone who peed in a public park. I don't mean
Right,
someone who's
right,
like a
right, right.
19-year-old
Well, how do
who had a
you
girlfriend who was
distinguish
17.
on the
No,
list?
you can read up the. You can
Okay,
read
all right.
up the.
There's info?
We're talking about actual pedophiles
Okay, gotcha.
who are a harm to others, which is
Right.
why, like, I'm Charles Bronson in Death Wish. In a
Vigilante,
in a
man, just
Nissan.
taking the
Yeah.
taking the law in your own hands.
And the kid's probably in there, you know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, watching Dora the Explorer. He's like, what the hell? I'm like, "Mom, mom, mom, mom." And I feel good
What-
because
what
I
time?
know I made his life
him.
more unpleasant.
What time do you guys typically do this?
As late as we can, which for me means
Like-
about 10:30.
Okay.
Because after that, I'm just, listen, I'm not going to be any good to anyone.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
that's
I wouldn't
not
be
a
any
good
good to
idea.
you, and I wouldn't be serving the community in accosting pedophiles properly if I tried to go any later.
I wonder
Batman.
how this little bit would have gone if Bill had been here, your lawyer.
Oh, I already told him. He said it was a good idea.
He said it was good?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's gonna
okay, all right,
join
well, then
us.
we're good.
And then we're going to.
What does Brendan say?
Yeah, we're going to. What do you think about it, pedophiles honking?
I don't know. I don't really feel like that's a great
You don't think?
deterrent.
Is that what you mean?
Well,
I don't know. I don't think of things.
oh jeez.
What did you think was
man.
going to happen?
He's like, I don't think it's not a good deterrent.
All right, so let's get to the first story. President Trump wants to defund the World Health Organization. I don't want to say that this show influences heads of state, but we were kind of early on the China thing and World Health Organization, and then you see it kind of, it was sort of parroted on Fox News from
Right.
people who were not talking about that even beforehand, and then Donald Trump's like, you know what? I think we should look into the Who's. No more Dahoo-doing for those sons of bitches. I'm not even going to leave a crumb that's too small for a mouse. That's a Grinch reference. So let's
there you
watch
go.
us go to the clip for people who missed it that he is going to defund the World Health Organization. I love it.
Today, I'm instructing my administration to halt funding of the World Health Organization while a review is conducted to assess the World Health Organization's
The
role in
world?
severely
A review of the
mismanaging and
world.
covering up
Right.
the spread of the coronavirus. Everybody knows what's going on there.
I think the delay.
You know you wanted to say.
Everybody knows what's going on there.
China.
They told me not to say Chinese virus. Oh my.
I didn't say
It must have slipped. Whoa. Whoa. I'm so
Yeah,
slippery.
we were half a second away from that happening, I swear.
We're going to review the world. I wanted to review the
Organization.
galaxy, but the Milky Way wouldn't take part in the census. So a couple of things. That was something that I love about. We absolutely should.
That's
By the
awesome.
way, and let me
Yeah.
be really clear as to why before I get into some of the fallout, which is just delightful.
It really is.
I don't want to say the press is not the enemy of the American people. That's what Stalin said. People try to attribute this
Right.
quote to Donald Trump. The press. I think he said that now since I defended him, which kind of hung me out to
Probably,
dry.
yeah.
But
Not cool.
Shouldn't have said it if he said it.
communists are the enemy of the American people. Does that sound like McCarthyism? I'm fine with it. By the way, he was right about a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
he was a good guy.
He wasn't totally wrong,
Good
okay? Communism is the enemy of the American people. And communist sympathizers are the enemy of the American people. That means the World Health Organization. And that means the media who carries their water. If you are a member of the media and you are excoriating our president at this point for simply saying that we should defund the World Health Organization, you're a communist sympathizer. There is Team America and there is Team Communists who don't even acknowledge that Taiwan exists. So when given the option of funding communist propaganda or not, usually I choose to not.
Yes, well, as well you should. And forgive us for looking at history and saying, well, look, this is a failed ideology that leads to millions of its citizens being killed and oppressed and typically ends very poorly in World War. So we'll not go down that road if you guys can just like report the news.
It just
That'd
happened
be
a
great.
couple times.
Yeah, just a couple of times. And in the realm of American
every
history,
single time it happens.
I mean, it happened like, 30 years ago? World War II?
It's not like we...
Give or take.
Give or
another 40.
30
rounding.
But in the realm of history, we look back at you look back at the Romans and the
it's
Ottomans.
basically a blink.
You're talking about a very large gap compared to how long it's been since our last World War.
That's
Not
true.
that long.
No.
Do you know when World War II was there, Brennan?
The 40s.
Hey, there you go.
You got it about right.
Pretty close.
So, of course, you have the leftist politicians. They've been completely outraged and going to bat for the World Health Organization. None other than Jim Acosta. Love it.
We can always count on him.
Who took it so far to say that Donald Trump unfairly blamed the World Health Organization in China. Now, the operative word there is unfairly.
Right.
Because it would be unfair if President Trump blamed the World Health Organization in China and they had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if
they were completely innocent, that
if
would
it
be
were the
unfair.
Italian flu,
Yes.
right? If it were the Luxembourg sniffles,
Right.
you'd be like, that's a valid
Like,
point.
hey,
never
you attribute
happened.
it to
But
him.
it did come from China. China lied about it, and the World Health Organization said, "Well, don't worry, we'll help."
We like you. Thank you very much, and we'll help carry
And
your
so,
water here.
kind of like me with this morning show here.
Right.
Is he alive? Is he still alive?
I don't know if he can
can't tell.
breathe
I
through
think-
that mask. Actually,
Can you
I
breathe?
think
Do
he
you need to
can,
pull it down?
But I don't.
You need to pull down the mask.
It's loose.
Hey, don't
Is it
touch the
loose?
mask.
Yeah, don't.
Oh, did you
touch it.
you
It's the wrong
ruined
way.
it?
And he's
Jeez.
trying to take down the mask, and he hits the microphone like a Jerry Lewis spit. Oh, the mask! Hey, lady!
Somebody give this guy a phone.
And here's something we've talked about this quite a bit. If it existed in a vacuum, the World Health Organization, right? If it just existed as though, they kind of suck, they said some crappy things.
Right.
No, it doesn't. Context matters. Taiwan warned the World Health Organization of the dangers of human-to-human transmission in December. And they ignored.
Seems like that
Taiwan.
information would have been helpful.
It seems like it would have been helpful.
Seems like.
They not
I could
only
be- I'm
ignored
not
them,
a doctor.
and then
I
they
could be
denied
wrong.
the claim. They denied the claim, saying that they said that Taiwan never did that. And then Taiwan said, "Oh, good thing I have receipts." And they brought this up. They released the emails.
Yeah.
So I think we have that as an
I have
overlay. They
receipts.
released the emails. This has nothing to do with it. This is
That's
just,
not- yeah.
This is my
Oh,
live
my-
read for beds. Promo code.
Glad you wrote that down.
8Zs. Now, is that a
tough one to
transgender
remember.
on CNN right now? That's the problem with the
hard to
whole
know.
LGBTQAP movement. I never give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Wait
can't
for the
anymore.
voice. Wait for the voice.
If there's an
Why don't
above
we
average
know
amount of
if
makeup,
with
I
this
assume it's a guy.
particular
Yeah.
virus that gives you immunity
That would be myself,
from
but I am a
another
guy.
infection.
So conventional wisdom.
No,
Just
no,
a
it's
porch
fine.
woman.
No, with a little bit of mic feedback,
Yeah.
which
It's
could
hard
be
to tell.
confused as Adam's apple reverberation.
Right.
Do you like surprises?
Yeah.
No,
No, I don't.
Not in my morning news.
Never.
And yeah, go ahead.
One of the things about this is that Donald Trump, we can say what we want to say. He didn't just defund the WHO. He basically said, we're going to stop all funding to do a review.
Right.
Which he could still end up going back and saying, all right, we'll fund them. I doubt that'll happen. This is the first step towards defunding them. But that's a reasonable thing to do, to say, whoa. There's all this evidence that these guys were bad actors in this and they should have done their job better. We're not going to fund them until we figure that out.
Yeah.
Why is that controversial?
And it's entirely accurate because the Chinese can't act.
They're very
bad
bad
actors.
actors,
They're
like I
awful
said.
actors.
Jackie Chan was their best one.
He was their best
And he's
one.
not even that good.
That's their MVP.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're going to say that's racist. Sure. So I don't. Yeah, it is
culturalist,
amazing that
you racist.
Asians are really bad actors.
Yeah.
I think when you saw Kim Jong Il die, that entire nation deserved a Razzie.
Yeah, and that's certainly
it
not
wasn't
what I
like,
meant.
It wasn't like, oh, shed a tear, like the Native American because a little bit of trash by the roadside, like,
Right, yeah.
oh, we'll kill our pregnant women now.
Oh yeah, that's tough to find that job. Hard to fill.
Yeah.
Hard to
I don't know
follow
how
up.
much of it is they were indoctrinated, how much of it like they bought the propaganda.
Sure.
But it's
They'll
so
be
tough to know because they're
killed.
so bad at the art of acting.
They'll be killed. That's the whole thing.
Can you think of any good Asian actors, Brendan?
I guess Jet Li is in.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Expendables.
Yeah, he did
Jet
some
Li
great. He did
is
some
in
great
The
work with
Expendables.
D, M,
Yes.
and or X.
Yes.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
X.
Yeah. This is amazing to me. It was an experiment. Failure. And here's the good thing: there's a new poll out too, because the media they've just been torching, obviously, any of their credibility, and that's important to note. Remember right now, because I guarantee you, 4, 5, 6 months from now, stories are going to come out about the World Health Organization corruption, where everyone else is going to acknowledge it, just like. After the story, Donald Trump didn't want to send ventilators. They didn't need 40,000 ventilators. No place on Earth at this point. Well, I don't know about other. No place in the United States, I should say.
I don't think on
needed needed 40,000 ventilators. New York City topped out at 4,000. Okay,
4,000.
So they covered it, saying Donald Trump doesn't care about states, doesn't care about people dying. He's not sending out ventilators. And now what do? They just move on when it turns out they don't need the ventilators. This is what they'll do. Right now, they defend the World Health Organization. Why? Because they hate Donald Trump. That they can't help themselves. It's like, well, hold on a second. You do know that the World Health Organization, like they're parroting communist propaganda points, and they refuse to acknowledge Taiwan. It's like, no, I know. I side with them because you don't, Donald Trump. I can't help it. There's nothing. There's nothing I could do. He said they don't. He said he didn't like them. I have to defend them. Which Donald Trump just go out and say, I don't like Hitler, and just watch them tear themselves apart limb from limb. So there's a new poll out. Just so you know, it's not just us.
Okay.
Let's tune into CNN right
I
now.
wanted to make sure. You never know.
Millions of children, your children, our children, out of school because of this pandemic. Many still don't have what they need, don't have Wi-Fi, don't have computers.
Do they have
Try to learn
moms?
virtually.
They can learn. So, that's right. You hate that. You're not on board with the mom.
How did we learn before Wi-Fi?
How did we learn? Can anyone get me a book report on how fire was started?
A what report?
How did they do it without charter schools?
Right. I know this is wrong, but what do we do during the summertime when the same exact number of kids are out of school?
Oh no.
I don't know.
I know that there's no daycare and stuff, so that's the caveat. But I mean, come on.
What was that wrong? Do you need a
it's
zip
wrong.
fizz? Do you need a zip fizz
No,
to
I don't.
clean up your brain here?
No.
You're like, I know it's wrong, but summer vacation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to compute. What
The
could possibly have been
caveat
offensive
was
that?
that there is no daycare for people who are going to work that used it during the summer. Right?
Yeah,
so
but-
daycare's done.
Yeah, but daycare isn't
the
required
only-
when you're home all day and you can care.
Right.
I get that. Yeah.
Fair.
But
Care
moms
during the day.
and dads still work from home sometimes. So I'm saying there's caveats and
Even Brendan, I'm hoping this might be one of those things where you catch something we miss because do you know what he thought was offensive in that statement?
No, but I guess I don't see his point though, because like summer is supposed to be only 3 months, not like the whole year.
Yeah.
no,
And
my whole point was that in summer the exact same number of kids are out and we deal with it for 3 months and it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, okay. So I
yeah,
see you
but
were talking about
I
an
was
entirely
playing
unrelated
4D
point.
chess,
We were
and you
talking
guys
about,
were still, like,
no. You were
2D.
playing chess in a pool.
That's still
By
4D,
yourself.
Stephen.
Yeah.
You
And the
could
pieces
be on
were
a
just floating
floaty
around.
and play
Yeah.
chess.
So no, we were talking about how will they learn.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
they can learn. Like
No,
I
I know
had a
that,
teacher
but-
one time who got mad at me in the 3rd grade for missing
Right.
class because we were going on a family trip. My parents were like, do you really think that he's not going to learn more traveling across North America?
Than sitting in a
than
class.
sitting there? He'll find out what happened to the big red dog. Like we can tell him.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
We can tell him once we pass Toronto, okay? It's not that big of a deal. So and again, all of this is designed when you look, it's a Sarah McLachlan thing. I can't even look. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? We get it. Rescue a dog and buy gold and bed sheets, CNN. We understand your target market.
Oh boy.
It is just so usurious. I can't look at it right now. Someone say something. It's all I'm
to-
seeing is
it's
Sarah
going to
McLachlan right
offend
there.
you, right?
beside me. Okay, so let's look at this. 90% of Republicans, 60% of Democrats, and 70% of independents believe that China is responsible for the spread of the virus, according to the most recent Harris poll.
Racist.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah, actually, it's 75% of independents.
Okay, sorry, I got that wrong.
You got snow!
Okay, what just happened?
It's not me. It's not
Here,
me. It's an
don't,
overlay.
quarterback, don't trigger that.
It's not me. It's not me.
I'm
I
at,
swear.
yeah, that's they can.
I'm telling you, it's not me.
Well, it's almost like YouTube doesn't care who's watching anymore. I don't like it.
Sucks.
Making me look bad.
So I guess 70. I said 75. It's 7. I said 70. You know what? I
70
undershot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 75%
75%.
independence.
You know, I actually had this happen a long time ago when I talked about the Detroit unemployment rate being 27.8%.
Oh.
And I don't know if it was Washington Post who fact checked me, like, no, it's actually 28.2 Oh. I stand corrected.
Thank you for
And the
making
funny thing
my
is
point.
that they corrected me. The next day, it went to 50%.
Wow.
In Detroit.
Well.
Let's not concern ourselves with minor details.
And the article was probably like, Steven Crowder gets it wrong again.
I get it wrong very often. I'm not going to lie. This is very common.
Totally missing your whole point.
As wrong
Yeah.
in my selection this morning.
That's true. That's true. It goes way back, actually.
How do you wait? Help me! So I do. This is remarkable to me that the media has no understanding that the American public don't trust them and don't trust the World Health Organization.
Yeah, and they feel like they're the ones that are the arbiters of truth. They're out there just like putting it out there like, oh yeah, of course, everybody trusts us. We're out here doing our job and standing up against the lies of this media.
I don't think they believe
or
that.
to this administration. You don't think that?
No, I think they. I don't think they believe
some
that. I
of
think
them
at this
do.
point they're going, oh, people don't trust us. We're circling the drain, and so let's just go full tilt leftist and then ask for a bailout.
I mean, that's possible.
No, it's what they've said.
No, I know they want to be bailed
So
out.
next story is: are you ready for this, Brendan? You don't even have. You don't even have any water. Do you need some? Do you want some? You want some milk?
I would love some milk.
All right, let's get Brendan some
Milk?
milk. Someone, let's get Brendan a mug full of milk. Maybe that'll.
I didn't know we had milk
That'll help him
on
be the Brendan
we have
that
a lot more
I
milk
took
now
care of for a
lately.
week and a half at my house after he blew out his knee.
Oh yeah.
Remember when you
guy.
thought you thought you had to amputate your leg?
Oh, 'cause
he was like, "Oh, I can't. It doesn't work anymore." It just turned out that he had tied the knee brace way too tight.
Well, it was way more purple than what you have going on right now.
Yeah, but I don't have anything going on with my knee
Well.
right now. So you mean it's more purple than standard skin color? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my foot. Yeah,
it
my
is.
foot when it was in the ice bath.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was. But the thing is, we were
scary.
trying to solve this problem with Brendan. He had knee surgery from standing, and he was over at my house because I was like, well, you can't just live. And I appreciate it. He wanted to come into work that day. And I was like, I
Really?
haven't had knee surgery. That's not going to happen.
No.
So he came to
Not a
our
good idea.
house, and he had to sit there, and we took care of him for about a week.
Yeah.
And he was going, my leg really hurts, and we're trying to figure out what's wrong with it, if we have to call the hospital, what we need to do, elevate his leg.
can
And
be
he didn't tell us that he had ratcheted it down like a camper van
Why would you
being
do
put
that?
on a hitch. And then finally I lift up his pant legs, and it looks like I would imagine like Kathy Bates varicose veins, in the bottom of her. Like, is it varicose veins or is it spider veins?
It's
both.
I'm not
Be
necessarily
the
up to,
same,
but
yeah.
the veins of fat people.
Yes.
Particularly old fat women. My aunt had that. That's what your leg looked like.
Yeah.
And he just didn't think to let us know, like, oh, wait, maybe you should know that I tied it down with a rope and then used hockey skate ratcheting tools.
I thought putting a tourniquet on my leg would actually help it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I thought the best thing was to entirely stop blood flow to the area.
Right.
To ensure healing.
I read a medical book from the 1800s, and they said if I just bleed myself,
He
I'll
doesn't
get better.
hacksaw.
Cups, too.
He does not have an understanding of human growth factors at all. Silly Brendan, but I'm glad he's with us.
Pedantic.
Okay, so this is something I wanted to talk about because I realized that everyone else got this wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
Everyone else, including everyone here, was saying, did you see how funny the presser was on, was it Tuesday? No, it was Monday. Monday night. So this is when Donald Trump presented the video to the media of what a crappy job they've been doing.
His gift to them.
It was his gift. It was his gift to us, really.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
And it was remarkable. But most people saw, if you were watching a main feed, first off, if you were watching CNN, they cut the feed.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
So I don't. Who here's been watching the briefings at night?
I've watched about half.
Okay.
Yeah,
about
and
half.
watching
I
the
just saw
clips.
the video
Okay.
later online.
Yeah.
Okay.
The video from the
Have you
press.
been
highlights.
watching them at all?
Just
at night?
clips.
Can you
Just
imagine being
clips.
in the CNN booth? Cut it! Cut it!
That's
Cut
wonderful.
it! Cut it!
This is wonderful. Knowing that in case I get something wrong, that one of you can correct me. You're using the clips that I've disseminated. They could be incorrect.
We're trusting.
So the funny thing is, with this presser that Donald Trump gave, people saw the video.
Yeah.
So you saw the feed of the video. But what you didn't see, unless you watched a cheap sort of local Fox affiliate stream, which is what I usually do, local Fox, local CBS, media that shouldn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to enjoy the last few
Yeah.
the
You want to watch
death
the shit go
throes
down.
Right, yeah.
of Fox 5,
I was there when they went away.
Tempe, Arizona. Yeah. Or it could be a CBS 6 Flagstaff. They have a wonderful...
You're not
They're
picky.
charming.
They have a wonderful beat reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose name escapes me.
Yeah.
So if you watch one of these local affiliates, they don't have the budget for, the Michael Bay camera swoops. And so all they have is one shot. that just does
main
this.
feed.
And so they didn't show the feed of the video. They showed the actual whole room with Donald Trump presenting this video with a timeline, presenting it to the media. And here's what's so amazing about this, and we'll play this, and I want everyone to if you haven't seen it, what's amazing is that he is doing this with the people who are being highlighted in that video as morons in the room. And then a couple times he looks at them and points at them. So this is, again, this is the kind of thing that everyone needs to be seeing. You don't just want to see the Windows Movie Maker crappy video made by a White House intern. The entertainment factor here is watching Trump present. It's like the inception of petty assholery. But it's wonderful. So let's play this clip from the presser on Monday.
Now, with that, I have a couple of we have a few clips that we're just going to put up. We could turn the lights a little bit lower. I think you'll find them interesting.
I really want
Let's get some nice ambiance.
Answer some
the
questions.
popcorn.
I'll ask you some questions.
Easing them in.
Because you're so guilty, but together. Most importantly, we're going to get back onto the reason we're here, which is the success we're having. Okay? Please, you could put it on. Thank you.
Just roll the clip.
He looms over.
People should be more concerned right now with the flu in this country.
A lot of people are concerned about the coronavirus because they're hearing a lot of news about it right now. But the reality is, comparing it to the flu, for example, it's not even close to being at that stage.
What if it is worse? Is this a moment where maybe
this is good. I like this.
Aside, a little bit of pride aside, and do we have U.S. officials? Should
wait for it.
Professionals such as yourself get involved?
How worried should Americans be about coronavirus?
Coronavirus is not going to cause a major issue in the United States.
And now, I don't know who did the editing, but someone's like, we don't need transitions. Now look at this. Watch. That's a moving timeline. It's a scroll.
We worked hard on that.
We will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. To unleash the full power.
I wish I loved anything as much as Donald Trump loves watching himself.
He's mesmerized.
Patients can now visit any doctor by phone or video conference at no additional cost.
The first wait, watch. At one point, he looks someone in the eye. Yeah, not with these weird transitions. So I'll just talk. It's like this was. It's amazing that this was actually like. You'd think you could hire, the guy Peter Berg.
Look at that.
Where it originated.
Look at it.
Look at it. Now look, he looks directly in someone's face. Look at that right there. He points up like, remember that quote? Remember that quote, you little pissant? There's nowhere to hide.
The idea was to halt the spread of the disease, keep transmissions to a minimum.
Sounds reasonable.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And Pence is just looking forward like he's at salute.
Right.
Like someone's about to fold up the flag and put it on a casket.
He's got that Adam and Eve pose.
Yes.
Because it did actually take a pretty aggressive measure against the spread of the virus.
Now look, he's looking directly. You see, he points to someone. He points to, see that? Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? That was you. That was you.
I think the all caps was Trump's call.
Yeah.
Put that in all caps.
How about this? No.
Thus far, been doing everything that they can do.
Now look, he's probably looking at someone who works for Cuomo right now.
Say that I appreciate it.
He returns calls. He reaches out. He's been proactive.
He tilts his head like, that's nice.
My voicemail is totally empty.
That was because he sent it down here, 2,000 medical units.
Are you hearing this?
California,
Is everyone hearing this?
Medical stations.
Got enough volume?
And that's been very, very helpful.
The president has been outstanding through all this. The vice president's been outstanding. Members of the coronavirus task force.
He said it. He gives an eyebrow. He does a Macaulay Culkin like
the eyebrows, man.
My parents are in Florida and I'm in New York.
Even the Hispanics love me.
And the president came back, called me a short few minutes before I walked in here to say indeed they would grant that to New Jersey. So that's a big step for us.
Well, it's amazing the president said that. I'm so glad he said it. Aren't you, media? Aren't you? No, that's right. You're the one who said that previous thing I pointed at you to call you out for.
Arizona's request for a presidential major disaster declaration. I want to thank the president.
The lady behind him is Italian. She talks with her hands, folks. She just had a spicy meatball. We make the best meatballs.
For their continued
look, he keeps looking someone in the eye at about his 5 o'clock.
The president, the vice president, for doing a really good job.
Holy shit, it's a thumb. And now he stops and he walks back slowly. Look.
So we could give you hundreds of clips like that from governors, including Democratic, or Democrat as I call them, governors, which is actually the correct term.
Because you know someone had a talk with him.
Yes. They did. Yeah.
So I was like, you'd say Democrat, but depending on the context, people would say Democratic.
No. I know terms.
Yeah. I don't know terms. I make terms. I'm writing a new book. Do you know what it's called?
Oh my God.
The Art of the Terms. So many terms. It is just, to me, it is petty and childish, and exactly the punishment that this media deserves for their misdeeds.
Yes. They're petty and childish too. So
absolutely, it is like you having your nose rubbed in the carpet where you peed.
And so many people were like, I can't believe that he would do something like that in the midst of this crisis, that he would go out there and start off a press briefing. And I was like, have you watched what you've said about this president? What is he supposed to do? This is an honest question. What is a president supposed to do when the media constantly lies and mischaracterizes what he says and does? Yeah. Is he supposed to just say, well, maybe you're right. Maybe I am a bad guy, right, when he's not wrong? No. He can say, look, you guys said what you said you didn't say.
Hold that thought, because I think Brendan's buzzing in. What do you think, Brendan?
I really wasn't buzzing
in. Okay,
yeah,
I know.
It was a malfunctioning buzzer. Yeah. Thanks, Brendan.
Warning, this is not a drill.
Yeah. I get that it's petty and it's childish in the way that he did it, but it was absolutely.
I mean it in the most wonderful of ways.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's exactly what they deserve.
Yeah.
They need someone who just simply is simplistic. I don't think. Here's the thing: Donald Trump is not a dumb guy.
No.
People can say he's bombastic. Donald Trump hasn't aged since he's become president. Even if you compare him to Barack Obama or George W. Bush, he came in as bombastic, as not super articulate, but he is surprisingly quick on his feet sometimes.
Yeah. He absolutely is.
And but it's not gone away. Think about Biden. Someone was saying Biden could be president for 8 years.
Just in the last 2 years, he's deteriorated.
He doesn't make it through anything. But look, he's mean for playing for them what they said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really, at the end of the day, that's what we're saying, is that the president, how dare he play them what they said to them?
Yeah, they either have to show their own words on their networks or cut it and look like idiots.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Speaking of idiots, CNN right now, their Chiron says union pushes to designate grocery workers as first responders. And it looks like it is the My Pillow guy's Ghost of Christmas Future.
Was he in the freezer too long? Was that what your knee looked like?
It's like a used vacuum bag.
They dragged him out next to Walt Disney's corpse.
It looks like he's green screened onto his own real background.
Hey, Walt. We're gonna put Walt. Hey, Walt. Walt. Wake up. We need to put you next to Sanjay Gupta because his makeup artist is on furlough.
Yeah.
We need to make him look better by comparison. Yeah. Union pushes to designate grocery workers as first responders.
As unions would.
Well, good. Yeah, because when I think first responders, step aside 9/11 firefighters who are running directly into the rubble. There's someone at the Piggly Wiggly who has to check out my Dentine ice.
I got to restock the pickle aisle.
Oh, my God.
I need time and a half.
What stupid things are they saying?
Protection equipment becomes available. We'd certainly like to see it.
Even kind of sounds like Walt Disney.
It really is like a used vacuum bag.
Did he just say something about hating
I like
Jews?
that again, Wade.
Yeah,
that's still good. It's even good the second time.
I appreciate it.
I want to ask you this because there's been some.
It gets better with age.
Oh my gosh! Think about this for a second. This should be the main story right now.
Yeah.
Not only that we are potentially not funding the World Health Organization, but hey, here's why: the World Health Organization is basically an arm of the Chinese propaganda Communist Party. Yeah. And instead, they're having a guy to talk about grocery stores. First, here's the thing. I think that grocery store clerks, great. We should give them masks. No problem with it. But
totally
it's amazing to me that this is the coverage right now.
Yeah.
I understand that you don't want to cover the fact that you were bent over and effectively
spanked in front of the
sexually
American
accosted like Joe Biden circa 93 when Donald Trump.
2019, what are you talking about?
Think about how uncomfortable that would be to be a member of the press and have the president show your misdeeds. Show your quote saying, this is not as bad as the flu, and then look you in the eye like, remember it.
I want to be like,
I remember.
Right. He's like pointing with a little pointer. Jim, is this you?
Yeah. Right.
Am I mistaken?
Jim,
but is that you, Jim?
All I'm doing is playing what you said, Jim. Is that you?
Right. Oh, I see what you did. You played a clip of me yesterday out of context. Well, guess what? Two can play at that game. Only I'll include all the context.
Exactly.
Because context is what makes you assholes.
He's so diabolical for doing this.
That's why he didn't have a PowerPoint.
He's like a supervillain.
Show me on this doll where you screwed yourself.
So good.
I love it. I love that this is his mentality, like that he's going to call them out every single time. It's hilarious.
Show me on this stuff where you screwed you. And I feel like you would just put it in a weird place. Like, that's weird. You must be doing yoga. So determined to screw yourself. I appreciate your commitment, Jim. Know what? When it comes to screwing themselves, you're tops. By the way, do we have MugClub chat that we want to go?
Yeah,
okay, a couple of chats. Let's take that before we go to a traffic update.
We've got good morning, guys. Let's see, what face is the name, I guess?
Oh, that's not a real name.
Good morning, guys. As you are a coffee guru, Stephen, and because of anxiety and caffeine sensitivity, do you know of any decaf coffees that don't remind me of Wade's
Harry obsession?
Yeah, I didn't.
Don't finish.
That's not. Yeah,
he's not obsessed with them. He's obsessed with joking about them. So he can put some distance between himself and his secret
characterization. I should have read this before I read it.
You should have read it.
I didn't. Yeah,
this is double checked.
Gibbon is feeding me these.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice job, Gibbon.
Thanks, Gibbon. I will say I don't know a whole lot about decaf because I'm a man. So
they have a sensitivity.
I think they have I know they have decaf at Black Rifle. I don't drink decaf, and I assume if their decaf is as good as their other blends, then it's probably plenty good. Decaf, you tend to lose something because of the process. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan. So I have anxiety, and I just drink through it.
You drink through it.
I drink through it. I power through it with more caffeine.
It's like an alcoholic being like, I'm an alcoholic, but I drink through it.
Coffee through the other side.
Right.
Another chat. Is that what you're about to say there, Audio Wade?
Yeah. Let's see. Good morning. If you could roast any president, who would you choose? Thanks for the morning show, guys.
What says roast any president?
Rost,
so I don't know if that means put them on my roster.
I was assuming.
Is that short for something?
You were too busy scanning 2 lines ahead to make sure they don't reference your obsession with hot, hairy things.
I'm not. Yeah.
If I could roast any president, I don't know. I honestly don't. I've thought about this because they asked me to write at one point. I don't know who it was to write for the Gridiron dinner.
Sure.
Not the correspondence. They asked me. And I said, well, no, I'm not going to write for someone else. I mean, I'll show up and do it. And instead, I think they had like Rich Little or something. It's like, oh wait, what does Reagan sound like? Tell me, Frank Travellino. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Donald Trump has a thick enough skin to laugh at himself.
Yeah. That's probably true. Is it better that you like somebody that you're roasting or that you dislike? Which way makes it easier?
Probably the best would be Ronald Reagan. He seemed to have the best sense of humor about himself. I guess, you know what, who would I like to roast the most? Jimmy Carter. Yeah. Just because typically, like, there's kind of a rule in comedy that nothing is off limits. Why did you just say really?
Because he's a Georgia peanut farmer. You're going to roast him?
Why would you assume that? Really? Why are you attributing motive?
4D chess.
Okay, so there's no D chess. There's no chess, and he's not even playing checkers.
14.
He's playing backgammon on a checkers board, but he's wildly entertaining himself. He thinks that he knows what the chess is. That's a backgammon board.
I win every time.
Just say it, and that's like the commercial. Just say. He just thinks the commercial is just I win. He thinks that's the rule to the game. No, I said I win, but you woke Daddy. He clearly. But I said I win. So Jimmy Carter, and the reason why is in comedy there's a rule that nothing is off limits except the helpless.
Okay, yeah.
So that means typically, like, you know, people who have obviously like disease, like terminal illnesses, or people who are, you know, mentally
like
retarded.
the Key and Peele thing.
Mentally retarded people. But all of that goes out the window because Jimmy Carter was president. Yeah. So it would be the one time where I could, not that I have a dream of laying into mentally retarded people, but I would be able to see what works when making fun of a mentally retarded person to the mentally retarded face of Jimmy Carter.
A few months back, there was a time when Jimmy Carter was in the hospital because he had a bunch of pressure on his brain, and I think we did a joke on the show.
I think we did, and I think we cut it, right? Because I was like, it was too mean?
It made it.
Oh, wow.
It was on the air.
Well, I'm just a horrible human being.
It's out there. Go find it, folks.
There goes the sponsorship from beds.
Oh, man.
They're very
They won't touch us with a 10-foot bedpost.
Yeah.
I love how relaxed Brendan is right now.
He's chilling over there, right?
Are you all right there, Brendan? Does the milk perk you up?
Yeah.
You don't drink caffeine, do you?
No, the coffee machine's too complicated, so I don't want to touch it.
It's a button.
It's you quite literally hit a button.
Right, but to clean it is...
you don't have to clean. You hit a button. We
but
clean
if I don't drink from it, then I won't be expected to clean it.
What are you talking about? No one expects you to clean anything if only because we don't trust you. We don't want salmonella.
This guy's brilliant.
We do have a question that includes something about coffee. So if Paige says, if President Trump reopens the economy too soon, do you think it could potentially cost him votes in November? Also, what coffee brewing method do you use in the studio? Keep up the great work, guys.
I don't think that he can reopen the economy, parts of the economy too soon at this point.
Yeah.
I think at this point, many parts of the economy, I think at this point we need to determine what is non-essential, what is essential, actually, on the opposite. We need to determine what is non-essential.
Right.
Wait, what am I saying?
Huh?
We're only I got topsy-turvy because I was watching that timeline. It's like, remember when that Donald Trump could do this? Remember when you said essential, but you meant non-essential? Are you sure you want to roast me? I can show many clips of this, of your word whiskers.
Are they going to put a song
You do an
together
hour
next
every
time?
day, 2 hours in April, which the quality took a nosedive. Frankly, I was surprised you did that. We were all surprised. You even put, he even put Brendan on the show after he was still on painkillers. What was the question?
About him losing votes in November.
No, I don't think you know. I think we need to figure out what is non-essential. In other words, the only industries that should be shut down, and we should only be quarantining people who are vulnerable, old people. I've been saying this all along.
Yeah.
Old people, people who are already sick, people with diabetes, quarantine them because that'll also benefit them long term if we develop some kind of a herd immunity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say herd mentality. That's not a good thing.
No.
A herd immunity, but that can only happen if this runs its course. It is going to run its course no matter what.
One way or the other, right? Yeah. The only thing that we're doing right now is slowing down, maybe overrunning the hospitals, which really isn't happening right now, and maybe that's because of the efforts. But I don't think he can lose votes. But I think that the media will look for every single possible opportunity if he opens, no matter when he opens the economy up. And I know we say that he can't technically do all of that. It's really going to go down to the states where it should be to say, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm fine if New York and California stay closed a little longer. They have more cases than anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's totally fine. But I think what they'll do is they'll look for the one.
I just want to make sure that you're.
I'm 99% sure that I know New York has. They have 1/3 of all cases in the United States.
Wait, hold on a second. Experts warn 400,000 could die in Japan if virus isn't contained. You want to
really, guys?
You want to just watch that number go down like Ferris Bueller hacking into Ed Rooney's computer?
Yeah.
400,000. Beep, beep, beep.
Grace!
It's unbelievable. I guarantee you it will not be 400,000.
I love that movie.
I guarantee you. And I don't even know. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm willing to stake my reputation on it.
Roll the dice.
Wow.
I will roll the dice. 400,000 in Japan? Okay, I don't guarantee you, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm relatively sure. As far as coffee, we have a Jura espresso machine here. It's the most expensive non-camera equipment that we have because Black Rifle is a sponsor. So that's what we use in the studio. And then at home, I usually use a Chemex, or I just do a quick pour-over thing. So keep it pretty simple. Or sometimes I use the individual pour-over. So that is the best way if you want good coffee, to just do a pour over if you can. Have an electric kettle, you control the temperature, it's pretty easy. Or otherwise you have to get a really expensive coffee machine. Like the Mr. Coffee, Black & Decker. If it's under $150, it's not getting the coffee hot enough. We have a traffic update, right?
We do have a traffic update. I was going to say,
One more chat?
we actually have a breaking news story at the top of the map. Reg just sent it to us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so China urges the U.S. not to halt its funding to the World Health Organization.
Whoa, really?
So China has an opinion about this.
Yeah, well, listen, China, if you care about that so much, you first. How about you fund them? This is another thing. Why should we be subsidizing your organization? Or how about this, China? Okay, China. How about, here are the rules. First, you acknowledge Taiwan. You apologize. You cut the debt in half that anybody owes you at this point. You pay reparations, and you start funding the World Health Organization. And you know what? How about toss a few bucks into NATO? Then we will consider taking any. This is what I would like to see. If you do all of those things, then we will consider not ruining your day by messing up your entire government. How about that? This is as close to an act of war, what China has been doing at this point, as we have seen in the modern age. Think about the Cold War and what we were afraid of. Obviously, nuclear weapons, but that's already happened now at this point. China just needs to buddy up with the right people. By the way, it's not like you can't even find a nuclear weapon in the outside of this hemisphere. And it is remarkable that this is just more proof they expect the United States to front the world healthcare bills, medical innovation. We're the ones who have to come up with a vaccine, and we're the ones who have to fund the organization that lied to us about the disease and denied the only information that was actually accurate in December because of political motivations when it comes to Taiwan. Why would we ever take part in anything the World Health Organization does? Why should we care? And China, even more, please do answer me this. Why should we care what you think? Even if there's 19 billion of you.
Now Donald Trump looks like he was not prophetic, but he could see the future. Like he was pulling out of some of these deals with China on purpose and saying these guys are really, really horrible. We shouldn't be dealing with them this way. And it's because, oh my God, he was looking at them objectively.
Yeah.
And not bowing to everything they wanted.
I'm bringing up the article now as this is breaking, so I apologize.
Yeah,
no. Global pandemic, more than 18, the number of cases in New York, domestic airline travel, TSA screens less than, what is this? Oh, okay. Well, here it is, right? During Wednesday's press briefing in Beijing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said President Donald Trump...
Yeah. Authentic.
I would have thought that Brendan would chime in there since he's such a Jet Li fan.
I don't know that means he can speak Cantonese or
By the way,
or
the fact that I said, name me a good Chinese actor, and he said Jet Li.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how shameful, what a black dot that is on your country's history?
It is.
China. Imagine if, like, if they were like, can you name any good American actor? And just some American, like, Steven Seagal? He run like a girl.
We have video.
Jet Li. Good.
I think that's all he could think of.
Chow Yun Fat.
And he didn't want to seem racist.
Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lao Ji Zhang Yam Yam Lao Lao Ting. I don't know. I don't care. That's apparently that's racist now to like make fun of the Chinese language just because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
You can do it with anything. I can do it with Italian. And
we
that's
do
not
actually.
Italian.
We do.
Yeah. But the Italians are just like, it's a funny. That's how they respond.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly how they respond.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, to a racist. So, Donald Trump's decision. Donald Trump's decision to cut U.S. contributions to the WHO. This comes from ABC News.
Right.
To the World Health Organization would impact all countries across the globe, especially the more vulnerable ones.
Oh.
Yeah. You mean like Taiwan?
Well, and you mean like a pandemic?
What?
Impacts every country in the
way,
world?
Hey, China. Hey, hold on. China. Yes, thank you for paying attention. How about you help the most vulnerable countries in the world? Yeah. This is a great example right here. They're not saying, hey, the World Health Organization helps the most vulnerable countries in the world. What they're saying is the World Health Organization entirely relies on the United States subsidization to fund the most vulnerable countries in the world. Yeah. China, why don't you take care of them? Any Islamic nations, by the way, pick one ever. Are they helping the most vulnerable countries in the world? Why does it fall on the United States? Canada, your own national defense. Go! Well, we wouldn't even have time to make the Orville Redenbacher before you guys would be speaking fluently in another language. We need to give you health care. We need to give you security. We need to overpay into NATO. And then now, for some reason, we have to pay a propaganda wing of the Chinese government and the World Health Organization, or it's our fault that people have to dig wells in Zambia. How about you go screw yourself, China? Just do a little bit. We just want you to do how about you start with your own people, by the way? Why is it the United States? Why is it our job to help the most vulnerable elsewhere, but we cannot help the Chinese? Not to mention that you won't even allow us to help the Chinese by being fair and bringing in our goods to China. They don't have access to it. They have to make the goods that get exported, but you can't let them get the quality stuff. You can't let them get the stuff that they want because, of course, you have a class structure, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You abuse your own people, and you want to call out the United States to fix the world and the most vulnerable. And I get it. This is the expectation because we've always done it, and this is why it's so fun. No one here, you know what they're not saying? You know what this is not saying? What you're not saying is that the United States is an evil empire. We hear that all the time, right? The United States is an empire. Can you imagine anyone, can you imagine the Mongolians going like, hey, China, could you take down the wall? It's kind of tough for us, but sorry, my bad. No, could you imagine go back to the Roman Empire? Someone who's under their thumb of them just saying, hey, you know what? You're not doing enough for the people across the globe. I don't want I know the Roman Empire and the Greeks and the Ottomans, but I don't exactly know what was happening outside of their empire.
Well, not a lot, but not a lot.
What are you doing for Ethiopia? That's an old place.
There you go. Yeah.
No, you don't say that to an empire. You say, please don't rape us and pillage our stuff. Yeah. The United States is the only world superpower. By the way, the only world superpower who fled the world's greatest superpower one century to become the only global superpower the next century, and we've left places better than we found them. Now, I know what you're going to say. Hold on a second. What about the Middle East? You're right. It's a quagmire, but that's because the governments there are run by animals.
Yeah, well, and it's been
not all the people, but the governments.
That neighborhood was screwed up before we moved in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it was really bad before we got there. It's not like
in Kandahar they saw United States Marines rolling in and said, "There goes the neighborhood."
Yeah, exactly. Property values are going down.
You said, "Hey, finally we might have a neighborhood."
Yeah, exactly.
This place, look at this, bombed out. It looks like the Bronx.
Well, and I'm confused. China wants they want to have all the influence that they can with the WHO. This is your golden opportunity, China. Step up.
They want to have the influence,
some money,
but they want this. This also tells you how much they expect the American media to be complicit.
Oh, of course.
They want the influence, but they don't want to front the cash. So they're hoping that Jim Acosta reads this or Stephanopoulos gets a hold of it and goes, let's prepare the show map.
China?
Yeah, Stephanopoulos, you so good.
You're one of the top economies in the world. You pay the $360 million. That's the difference between what we pay and what you pay.
Oh, you think our economy is not? No. American misunderstand. Our economy is House of Cards.
Oh.
It's not real.
Oh, really?
It's founded on years and centuries of human rights abuse, and it's not work when you take away that. We can't have a free economy that work. No. House of Cards. You know House of Cards?
I do, yeah.
Kevin Spacey raped kid. You know that guy?
Pretty much, yeah.
Our economy, like the guy who raped kid.
Well, China, just do me a favor and talk to Russia, the USSR, about this, because we did this game before and they ended up falling.
Putin's an asshole.
So, yeah, you're going to fall.
So that was improv. It was a little one act.
Furthermore,
that's good.
For a little one act.
Yeah.
Little one act about Watergate. So, furthermore, the move weakens the WHO's capabilities and harms international cooperation. Well, okay, this sounds bad. It's like the political compass test that we'll be taking tonight. Harms international cooperation. Who are we supposed to be cooperating with? Doesn't that matter?
It does.
Can you hear
so.
Brendan drinking milk with his mask?
Is it through the mask?
I think he tried to drink it through the cheesecloth mask.
Touching that mask.
I feel like it would just run down his shirt. We should probably find out before the end of the show.
At present, the global pandemic situation is grim and is at a critical moment, Zhao told reporters. We urge the U.S. to fulfill its responsibilities and obligations and support
responsibilities
to lead the international combat against the pandemic. Guess what?
That you started.
I don't want to cooperate with you. I want nothing to do with you. Zero. This is amazing to me.
Yeah.
It would be like Nancy Pelosi reaching out. You know, the same person who was like dancing in Chinatown saying, hey, we're Chinatown strong. Come on down to San Francisco, Chinatown. We're all fine. It's just allergies. It would be like her saying, hey, let's cooperate to Donald Trump.
Right.
Just cooperate in the impeachment. Why would I ever cooperate with that?
Yeah.
I have an idea here. I'm willing for the United States to go ahead and go back to the level of funding for the WHO that they were before. China, you open up completely. You don't get to tell us what the numbers are in your country. You give us full access. This is like the atomic stuff, the IAEA, right?
No, we dropped that on Japan.
No. I didn't say
I know
the
they all look
bomb,
alike.
Steven. Open the country up for us. Let us see what's really going on.
I don't understand. I don't understand why I know exactly why the expectations of the United States. You know what? We'll do the traffic update. We'll do it later because we're actually. I didn't realize how late we're running.
Yeah.
All right. So then we also have to get to Hipster or Hobo.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's back.
It is. It's back. So now let's get to this other issue. Is there anything else anyone want to chime in on China at all? No. Oh my God! What's happening on CNN? Taraji P. Henson creates free virtual therapy for Black communities. Well, that's nice.
What do you mean virtual therapy?
Are those eyebrows painted on?
I hope they might be.
They probably are.
Isn't it odd that what's her name? Poppy. What's her name?
Poppy Harlow.
Poppy Harlow has to pretend like she's taking this whole thing seriously.
That's a real person.
That's a real person.
I thought that was a PewDiePie.
I first misread Henson character. It's Taraji P. Henson. Yeah, I thought it was something that came out of the creature shop.
You do need like
not a racial thing. Just to be clear, she happens to be. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, because of the hair and the eyebrows.
Yeah, it's very characteristic.
If we had a protractor, I'm sure we could tell where those eyebrows are headed.
Yes, exactly.
To figure out
if you look at the
going
art
off into the horizon line there.
Your makeup artist shouldn't have to factor in trigonometry equations to make sure. I don't know the cosine of the angle, the tangent on the. I'm just words.
She's a genius, though.
I'm just using words.
Very
Can you do trigonometry, Brendan?
No, not really.
I bet you can. I bet you Brendan probably.
Why'd you have to think about that, by the way?
Yeah, you had to think about it. It's not a trick question.
He didn't say like what's 5 plus 5, and you're like 10.
He's like, do trig right now.
Yeah, I'm not asking him to do trigonometry. Remember how expensive those graphic calculators were too?
I know, the TI-85s.
It's an expensive way to spell boobs.
You didn't upgrade your jokes with the new calculator that you can graph them out? You could have graphed boobs.
A good joke is a good joke. Oh, hey, you know what? I do have a story. This happened today.
Oh, my gosh.
So, I'm up somewhere between 3:30 and 4:30. Yeah. And not because you told me to, Jocko.
Are you getting after it?
I make my own decisions. You're not the boss of me. So
yes,
I was up very early, and I drive. I just go for a drive and I drink my coffee in the morning. It's kind of my routine. I listen to the news. And I have to be very careful because I listen to usually NPR.
Right. Does it make you mad?
No, I've fallen asleep at the wheel. So I've had to change it with other news.
Maybe sleep more?
No, it's not. It's just NPR. It's unbelievable. They are federally funded to be boring.
Oh, okay.
So I was driving, and then I stopped it, and I hate this. I'm to my everlasting shame. Quick Trip. come on, you have Chuck Norris doing your... Sponsor this show. I am the biggest advocate for Quick Trip. Why? Because I grew up in Montreal where we didn't have anything like that. I remember my wife used to mock me because I just loved Quick Trips. I'd be, look at this gas station. You can get anything. Well, you can get anything in here. You could even get gas. And she's like, why is this so amazing? I'm like, because...
A stranded person from an island that just like found like a grocery store.
Well, that's a fact. Montreal is an island, and that's very astute. So the St. Lawrence River, I'm sure you're familiar with the waterways and the locks.
Not at all.
Okay.
0 parts of him.
The only familiarity I have with Canada is like Scott Pilgrim, I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, so that last part, don't say that out loud.
Cartoons,
yeah, cartoons, just poorly made films.
Yeah,
Well, it's not a cartoon.
So what was I talking about before this? Oh, so I stopped, but unfortunately this morning there was only a racetrack nearby. I needed to stop because I had a problem with my mug. It was leaking and stuff.
Yeah.
So what I was doing was wanting to carry out any trash at racetrack. Again, racetrack, not even close to Quick Trip. If I have to stop and go into a 7-Eleven, I honestly contemplate blowing my head off every single time. It is so
Really?
bad.
So graphic.
Yeah. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. And like I said,
is.
I won't do it with a Walther. I will make sure if I ever harm myself, I'll do it with a competitor's firearm because I don't want to besmirch their reputation. I don't want to sully their good name. So maybe it'll be if I have to go into a 7-Eleven ever again, I hope there's a Ruger nearby. That's all I hope.
There you go. Yeah.
So I go into a racetrack, and my wife left one of those fizzy waters there, coconut, which tastes like suntan lotion. It tastes like I'm drinking the subject of a Jimmy Buffett song. Coconut LaCroix. It's disgusting. Or what's his name? Kenny Chesney.
There you go. Yeah.
Except only the latter is closeted gay.
Not very well closeted.
Which got me into a street fight, by the way. We know that story because I kept making fun of Kenny Chesney. Because you don't talk about Kenny like that. I'm like, oh, he's your Kenneth. You're on a first name basis. Yeah. I digress. So coconut fizzy water. I'm carrying this stuff into the trash, but accidentally, I have, and some of it spills.
Yeah.
On the crotchal area.
Oh.
As
So I'm thinking, and this happens, and I'm always like, I don't want to, since I often get recognized, particularly at gas stations, people feel like there's this weird connection, so they can just talk like for 20 minutes.
Like me.
Right. It's like,
You get gas in your car too.
I don't know you, and I probably don't even like you.
Well, you might.
Possible.
You never know.
Well, because often they're not people who are watching right now. They're people who've seen me on television or something.
Change my mind.
And they're like handing their business
guys.
card. They'll be like, "Hey man, I do insulation for premium homes." Well, I don't have a premium home and I don't use insulation.
I mean, you don't need any
Thanks.
more.
And then I go get my big gulp. So I accidentally pour it, and as I'm getting out of the car, I notice that it looks like a crotchal, like a piece, like I've urinated myself.
Yeah.
And I walk out, and there's this girl who's Latino. I don't know if she's Mexican, could be Honduran. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't assume.
We'll just say Latino.
Olive skin tone.
Yeah.
And she looks at me, and she looks at me like this. She
Latina.
looks, and she goes, because the door opened up, and I was playing NPR very loudly. And because that's what has to keep me awake. So she
Sheer volume.
I opened the door, and she looks at me like this, and does that. And so right away, without thinking, I actually I acted like because I wanted her. I thought she's only seen it for a split second, so she doesn't know what's happened
She needs
here.
to know the
she could think
context.
this is happening right now. So I actually went like and dropped more on myself.
What?
So it didn't look like I had peed myself.
Oh, yeah.
So she looks. She goes. Looks down, and with quick thinking, I'm like, oh, she's gonna think it's pee unless I go, oh, no.
So now it just looks
It's
like you peed yourself,
everywhere.
and now you're trying to cover it up.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's
Thank
not what it
you.
looks like. She
Quarterback,
bought it.
that's
She
what I
bought
thought.
it. She bought it. She did.
She bought it?
Yeah, because I said, "Donde está bathroom?" and she was like,
so
over
now
there.
you
So
see.
so she knew that I needed to use it.
yes.
Otherwise, she'd be like, "Why do you care?" So
maybe you have more pee that you were able to cut it off.
And then I went in, and someone's like, it looks like it was a black lady. All my interactions happen to be with minorities.
Yeah.
It's a black lady at racetrack behind the custom food section goes like, somebody had an accident. I'm kidding. It looks like you dropped it. So that was it.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
Johnny
and
Boy there? Because he would have loved that.
No, he wasn't.
That would have made his morning.
This may seem like going backward, but Kenny Chesney is actually short for Kenneth Chesneth.
Really?
Chesnut.
Wow. Yeah, I changed that name too.
Okay.
Chestnut.
Yeah, and that's short for Peter Puffer. So
Wow. By the way, how much time do you actually spend in gas stations? Because most of us go in
As
and out
much
very
as I
quickly.
possibly can.
Like, is this your story? You walk the aisles and hang out,
Just
like,
loiter
what-
around.
What's going
Yeah,
on?
I do. I look and see what new energy drink selection because there's like they rotate new energy drinks more so than the magazine stand.
Oh.
You're like, what's this? Oh, Bang. That's pretty. Oh, Celsius. This is new. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is a new one. And then you realize that, like, the reason that a lot of them are sort of rotating is because they're entirely illegal.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Yeah.
Like,
So you
there
got to
are a lot of chemicals in there.
like Jolt Cola.
There's nothing wrong with just the caffeine, guarana, ginseng. But my dad, did you ever, like, the first pre-workout was something called Ultimate Orange. And that was it was ephedra.
That's super close
so
to
ephedra is illegal now, but ephedrine you can get in certain like over-the-counter like decongestants.
Right.
And I remember my dad taking this because some idiot at the gym, my dad played hockey, he always worked out, he's always been in shape, but he didn't even drink coffee.
Yeah.
Someone just said, hey, take this Ultimate Orange, it'll help you work out. My dad said, that sounds like a good idea. And he took it, and I remember my dad going, okay, bye, see ya, I'm going to the gym. It was called Planet Muscle. It was early in the morning. And he walks out, and less than 1 minute later, he walks back in and just lays down. He's going, oh, okay. Okay. All right. We may need to call a doctor. Okay. And he thought his heart was going to beat out of his chest.
Oh, wow.
So that happens with energy drinks.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I peed. I didn't pee. I didn't pee. I said someone thought I peed, and I fixed it.
He revealed.
And I realized telling this story, it was very Gary Shandling-esque when I was telling something. And so she thought I had peed my pants, and instead I poured the Waterloo all over my chest. It was cold, and that's my Gary Shandling. I was sitting there listening to Gary Shandling afterwards to see if he had a story. You don't know because you don't follow entertainment.
No, I understand who he is.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Transformers 4.
Is there another one?
I don't think he was in the fourth one.
What is this? So let me see here. Oh, Chris Cuomo. Okay, let's go to Chris Cuomo, then we'll play Hipster or Hobo. I had no idea we walked through 45 minutes of this, and John King is on
This is what happens.
John King and Sanjay Gupta, or as it's known, a viewable self-unhelp book. It's like if there could be a book teaching you how to develop the opposite of charm, it would be co-written. It would be written by John King, forwarded by Sanjay Gupta.
I can't tell which one. I can't tell which one's darker. I just hit my own microphone.
Did you just get into a fight with your microphone?
Yeah.
I witnessed.
You don't know what
is your microphone a Sanjay Gupta fan? He's like, hey, don't talk about my friend.
You don't know what this thing's done to me.
Oh boy. Maybe you started it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let me fix this. No, I just messed
now
up
you
my
screwed your
microphone.
But it was
off
funny.
It wasn't that funny.
Not worth it.
Someone give me Bill. So here's another story. Chris Cuomo, and I love this because I love Chris Cuomo, but not for the reasons that most don't. Chris Cuomo, he this week, if you hadn't been following, he trashed his job, but not the way that you think, saying that he didn't want to be involved with hyper-partisan politics anymore.
Right, yeah.
He didn't like. We'll play the audio clip, but the context here is he actually thinks that CNN is not left enough. So that changes it a little bit, especially with the follow-up.
What?
Let's roll the clip of good old Chris Cuomo.
I don't want to spend my time doing things that I don't think are valuable enough to me.
Valuable.
Namely,
Like
being Chris Cuomo.
Well,
Enunciating.
I don't like what I do.
Well, neither do we, Chris.
I like doing this show. I like talking to you guys. But I don't value indulging irrationality, hyperpartisanship. I don't think it's worth my time. And I don't want some jackass, loser, fat tire biker to be able to pull over and get in my face and in my space and talk
in my
bullshit
place.
to me. I don't want to hear it.
Somewhere there's a Hell's Angel like, joke's on you, my tire's standard.
Thought he was going to threaten to
I
push him
drive a
downstairs.
street bob, bitch. So here's what's so funny. You guys all heard that, right?
Yeah.
And I want to make sure, I know sometimes we tell jokes on a comedy show, and so sometimes like, is that a real story? That was Chris Cuomo. That was not anyone here.
100% him.
I want to be very clear. Is
Right.
everyone in agreement that that was Chris Cuomo and you heard him say it?
Certified.
Yes.
Even Brendan?
Yes.
Speak louder. I can't hear you through the mask.
Yes.
Whoa, calm down.
Whoa,
buddy.
don't yell.
You're going to blow
Man.
my ears, man.
Son of a bitch.
Dadgummit.
Jeez.
So then, I think this was yesterday, he walked it back. This is a direct quote. He says, I never said it. I never meant it. Well, first off, if you never said it,
okay.
why would you need to specify I didn't mean it?
Yeah.
In the event that I might have said it, I also
didn't
did not
mean
mean it.
Yes.
So I have you cornered.
But I didn't say it. So
Covering all the bases, just in case.
Do you understand how recording systems work, Chris Cuomo? Like, did you not see Trump's press conference?
right. Yeah.
I was sick. I forgot.
Right. Yeah.
Have I showed you my lungs yet? My X-ray?
My X-ray. And
that looks totally normal?
The diagnosis from doctor was shows signs of being a pussy. Yeah. That was the
It's
official
weird how they
diagnosis.
came up with that diagnosis so fast.
It is remarkable to me that this guy said that right there and then just said, I never said it, I never meant it. How this just shows you the lack of accountability. He thinks that if he doesn't say it on CNN, it must not exist. Oh, I said that on some kind of a podcast, and I can just go on my network and say that I didn't say it. I think he was being honest, though. I think this is a guy who really wants to be a hyper-partisan. He doesn't think the CNN is a hyper-partisan enough because he's never seen the lower chyrons because he doesn't have a monitor. So he thinks that he's shooting straight down the middle.
That's valuable context.
And what he was saying is he wants to push back against Donald Trump. He wants to be more of an open leftist ideologue, and it's not worth his time. They don't pay him enough. But I think I know why he walked it back, because this talentless hack actually makes $6 million a year.
What?
For CNN.
$6 million?
$6 million a year.
Just for him?
He should just give a portion of it to the World Health Organization. I think it's a write-off.
Wow.
By the way, I don't know if that's entirely confirmed because they have my black celebrity net worth. For some reason, black celebrity net worth, we can bring this up maybe, has me listed at $4 million.
Really? Are you a black celebrity?
No, I don't know why, but it says that I own
it's because of your ass.
It says I own
made
waterfront property in Dallas, Texas.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah, well, it's not true for anyone. It's not just fake news for me. It's not true for anyone.
It could be a lake.
By the way, the random biker guy, he rants about, I guess it was an actual person. He ranted about, came forward, filed a police report. He caught Cuomo. This is breaking. He caught Cuomo violating quarantine, and Cuomo had a meltdown and told him that he'd find him.
Seriously?
Oh, he's right there.
Well, here's the thing. You hate bullies, Chris Cuomo. I think you're a bully.
Bicycle guy.
A bicyclist.
Not a biker guy.
Well, then why would he say? Well, the reason I thought biker is because he said fat tire biker, Fat Bob. That's the name of a motorcycle.
No, you're right, but he's dumber than we thought, and so he's talking about a cyclist who had one of those big fat tire bikes.
No, I will tell you, I've never done this. I don't think violence solves problems. Chris Cuomo, I always want to say governor, but you haven't earned that. You're the brother of a guy who did it and has nipple rings, so we don't know what you do.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would welcome you on the show, and I know I would be respectful, civil, but I don't expect you would be. So we can also just have a WrestleMania for all I want. We can have a cage match. I don't care. And I also, I've noticed that there's this trend with Chris Cuomo where he always plays the tough guy. When the guy called him Fredo, he was like, hey, man, that's an insult to your people. That's an insult to your people. It's an insult to my people. No, first off, no, it's not.
I'll push you down the stairs.
It's not a racial epithet. Yeah, he threatened to push him down the stairs. And right here, he told the biker that he would find him. The good news, Chris Cuomo, I understand what you're yearning for. All of us are longing for human contact during this quarantine. The good news for you, Cuomo, is I am incredibly easy to find and very willing. Very willing. On one day's notice, not only will I host you on the show, but I would gladly allow you to find me in a sanctioned match. It could be. He always talks about his training too, by the way. There's an interview here where he's talking about how he does CrossFit and how he trains MMA, but where he trains MMA is more like street defense, like it's really tough. I would love to test the theory.
Let's see if it's working for you.
Try those skills out.
And then he tries to accuse people of being bullies. Hold on a second. You get paid $6 million a year to go on CNN, and a guy catches you violating quarantine, which, by the way, you have espoused should be against the law.
Right.
He blows the whistle on you, and you threaten him with violence on a nationally publicized program, which you then walk back. You are the definition of a bully.
Yeah.
You punch down and then walk it back when someone above you at your network not really punches down, but spanks you and says, no, Chris Cuomo, don't pee on the carpet. You're like, I'll never do it again, as he's shoving your head into it. So you punch someone who doesn't even work in the industry, and then you immediately cower when someone at CNN tells you, you can't do that, that's way out of line. I would love to hold you accountable, Chris Cuomo. I wouldn't do it with Brian Stelter. Wouldn't be fair. And there's a reason for weight classes. Chris Cuomo and I, exactly right in there. He claims he's 220. Work for a debate. Work for a... Bully me. Just bully me, Chris Cuomo.
Bring it. I was confused. Honestly, when I first heard the quotes and everything and I saw some of the stuff come out, I thought, oh, well, he's not going to go as far left anymore. He's tired of being a partisan hack.
Right.
But no, he wants to go further left.
Right.
I mean, has he watched? I mean, really, if you've watched any media, if you're working at CNN or MSNBC, do you not watch the other people to kind of see what's going on a little bit? There is nothing that I can think of that is worse than him on CNN. Maybe Stelter is worse on CNN than he is.
Yeah.
And maybe Tapper at times. But maybe
Stelter is worse.
Stelter
Stelter is the fat closeted gay Chris Cuomo.
That's
you can
true.
say a
That's
lot of things about Chris Cuomo.
That's a lot of categories
But
to fill.
the only two things you can't say about him are that he's morbidly obese and closeted homosexual.
Yeah.
But you can say this about Brian Stelter, which is why I wouldn't want to fight him.
Right.
Wouldn't be fair. That would be punching down.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it would be punching
I get it.
down
I understand
and punching in and then trying to retrieve it from the amoebic mass that is Brian Stelter's just... I bet you he'd be very hard to suplex.
He would.
Because it'd be like grabbing a giant bar of soap.
Like the Blob.
Yeah. I hope he goes as far left as he wants and ends up without a job.
I don't hope he ends up without a job.
I do. If he goes that far left, I don't want him on the news.
I would like Chris Cuomo to just, take a pay cut to like $250,000 a year and watch him soil himself. That's what I would like. I don't, live like
can't live on
not
that.
even the rest of us.
Come on, nobody can live on that.
You're too busy threatening bikers and guys in pop-up tents. What was it? It looked like a circus. When it's like, I'll throw you down the stairs, man. Okay, good luck.
That's a tough
what do you
guy
think?
move.
You think everyone's just going to react like it's a Lifetime movie? Oh, no, I should have picked more wisely with my life partner. No. Yeah. You're going to try and push someone. He never does it. Have we ever seen Chris Cuomo? We've seen plenty of video. Yeah. We've heard plenty of call-outs from Chris Cuomo from people who could do nothing about it or have no interest in doing anything about it. Have we ever seen Chris Cuomo respond to someone challenging him or challenge someone scarier than him? We've never seen it. Ever.
He got really, really, really pushy in that video, by the way, when somebody finally stood between them. Then he was like all aggressive.
Then he's like,
that's right. Hold me back. That's right.
Better hold me back. I've been doing CrossFit, bruh.
I've been doing those pull-up thingies where you like swing to
I've been doing not pull-ups. I've been doing pull-ups where I completely remove the lat from the equation, and it's just a violent kipping movement, and my lower back's pretty sore. But I ice bath it. Uncle Rabdo, bitch.
Uncle Rabdo.
It's really good at swimming in like the dolphin motion.
Yes, exactly.
Just,
That's true.
I don't. No. I don't do breaststroke or set. I only do butterfly stroke. Why? Because it's hard. But do you know how to swim normally? No, I don't even. I've never learned it.
I'll die
I only learned butterfly.
I'd die.
I do Jacob's ladder, bro. What's that? It's like a really hard ladder. Come at me. Okay, if you insist. By the way, hit the notification bell. We do have to get going. We'll go to Hipster or Hobo here in a minute, read some of your chats. Hit all notifications because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot on YouTube. And of course, do consider joining up at louderwithcrowder.com/MugClub. And please renew because we're not monetized on the YouTube. This is all that keeps it going. And it's been really fun to interact with you guys and read your chats. Of course, our wonderful sponsor as well. Walther, try the Walther. That's all we say. And that's all we need to say. They say,
that's all you got to say.
They're firearms. They are cool, beautifully designed, and deadly. They don't need me to sell them.
They
sell themselves.
Yeah.
They're like cigarettes.
Point and shoot at a
Much like
range.
this guy on CNN.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. This guy.
The Sunsetter
Save
awnings.
$200 with the. Was this the pergola?
Yeah.
The Sunsetter awnings, Stephen.
Well designed, dangerous.
Is that Rachel Ray?
It mostly doesn't provide shade because sun typically comes in at an angle. So
Well, it depends if it's going from the right angle. Of course, Black Rifle Coffee. BlackRifleCoffee.com/Crowder. Enter the promo code Crowder. You get $20 off. And this is my favorite roast. It is unbelievable. I really like it. And I've told you this. A long time ago, I hated Black Rifle Coffee. And the reason why they came to be a sponsor a year ago, and I said no. Because I purchased a bag of their coffee at a gun store in Michigan. And it was old and stale.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, this is like all this, like I paid for crap. And then finally someone said, well, just, you need to order it roasted. And I was like, oh, what a world of difference.
Yeah.
And they're pretty stringent now about who can carry their stuff. So I apologize, Black Rifle. I just, I prejudged you. I judged a book by your sold in the B room of a gun range cover.
Yeah. That's a
I should have known that it wasn't a fair assessment.
Really.
It was right next to the 9mm. I was like, you want it? It was like,
coffee or a gun?
You know what? Throw in a bag of coffee.
Might as well. Look
Look
at this. Look at the commercial.
Yeah, it's gone on forever. Okay, you know what? I actually think
Look
that
at it.
we're going to get going. Do we have any more chat before we go to Hipster or Hobo?
do.
Let's bring up a couple more chats, and then we're going to play Hipster or Hobo. I want you to play along with us.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a whole long time.
It's been
and that's
a long
largely
time.
because we had to remove all Spot the Tranny videos from YouTube. That was one of the conditions to still not being monetized anyway, so I don't know why we did it.
Yeah, so what? A condition
Yeah.
what?
So Braden says, hello from Nashville. Love the show. Question for the whole group. I've noticed conservatives/libertarians seem to have a more finely tuned BS radar than Democrats when it comes to news stories and life in general. We are more skeptical by nature. Why do you think that is?
I think it's really simple, and I think the World Health Organization, and I appreciate your question. I think this whole World Health Organization debacle just shows it for what it is, in that the left believes in the value of the collective over the individual. And any kind of an ideology that values the power and freedom, liberty of the individual over the collective is, by the very nature, going to be individualistic.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
and this is why it's so funny to me when people say, oh, I'm not left or right, I take them on an issue-by-issue basis. Like there's some kind of a free thing. But that's what conservatism is. It is actually being an individualist and understanding that every single person is different. Now, we tend to share the same values, of course, on free market principles, on what the legitimate role of government is. But the reason that we believe in shrinking those roles and shrinking taxes and shrinking government intrusion, any kind of public intrusion, is because we understand that individuals should be left to make their own decisions because we believe that they tend to do it better than a bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. Now, keep in mind, let's look at this right now, climate change. Now, the message you've been sold, right, between right and left, is from the left, from people like Chris Cuomo, who, granted, he hasn't been hyper-partisan enough, apparently.
Apparently
Can
not.
somebody please throw that man a lifeline? Good God.
Let him be more partisan.
They say, well, you deny science, when really the conservatives are saying, hey, hold on a second. Planet can be warming. Humans can be contributing. I just don't think that the Paris Agreement is going to fix it, and I don't think that China is going to play ball. So that's an individual look at the issues. You have plenty of conservatives who actually think that maybe it will support that policy. You have plenty of conservatives who don't think the earth is warmed beyond a catastrophic amount, and you have plenty of conservatives who think that humans are all different kinds of conservatives on that spectrum. The left, what do they say is, you deny science. And you say, well, hold on a second, what do you think about the arguments I presented? I'm going to trust the scientists. Oh, okay, so let's look at the World Health Organization. Let's look at this current SARS #2 epidemic, because there was SARS #1. This is the sequel, right? We say, hold on a second, I'm not quite sure if we're going to get 2.5 million deaths, because I'm looking at the death rate right now, and you can't really account for this with the mortality rate and the testing rate, and we don't really know who's been infected yet. And the left says it's absolutely going to be 2.5. Well, hold on a second. What about the issues that I just brought up? I trust the scientists. They say 2.5. Oh, beep, beep, beep. Now they're saying 100,000, 240,000. I trust the scientists. Why? You trusted them before. They're still absolutely right. Well, I'm telling you now, I think there's actually a problem, because if you look at the individual death rates, and it was a mortality rate of 6%, 7%, now it might be 0.04% when you take into account people without pre-existing conditions, and beep, beep, beep. Oh, it's 60,000 now. So what about that 2.5 million? I still trust the scientists. Why do you hate science? They look at every issue from a collective lens, and they defer to authority consistently because they believe authority has it right. That's why in this pandemic, they believe that if the CDC had more money, we'd be aces. So it's very simple. It boils down to conservatism, libertarianism. We value. I'm doing. See, my left, your right. See, this is
that was a good
little
job.
bit of stage. I know the stage.
Stage left.
Stage terms here. See right here, upstage. Right there, downstage, and through. So. You're now I'm forgetting which one's right and left. My left, your right. Libertarians, conservatives by nature, value the power and freedom of the individual. Of course, it takes a village, right? That's Hillary Clinton's book. I don't think it takes a village. I think it takes good parents.
Yeah, and one of the things that we don't subscribe to as conservatives is there is some kind of elite class of people who know far, far, far better than anybody else what is good for us and how to implement it, right? We understand that, and if anything, we've learned this from small businesses around the country and in technology, that there are plenty of people that can be experts in their field that have great things to contribute. We don't need it to be the top person. We can talk to a lot of great people.
Well, they always think that it's some ruling class who's going to fix it, provided it's the right person. And I will say this, and I really do respect Joe Rogan for having taken his licks here, saying he didn't say he would vote for Trump, by the way. That's a misreporting of what Joe Rogan said. He said he would probably prefer Trump over Biden. But you know what? This is the idea that you see from the left, like, well, it needs to be the right person. And his primary gripe with Biden, he said, the Democratic Party, they made us all out to be morons when they picked this guy. Why didn't Bernie make you out to be morons when you picked that guy? That guy's he's gonna smooth over all the wrinkles that are wrong with the current Democratic Party. He's like, Biden is the problem. If you had Bernie?
Point to a candidate
I'm not saying, by the way, I don't say we'd be fine if it was Trump. No, I'm saying I'm actually grateful that we have a president who wants to give more power to the states, who wants to give people more money in their pocket rather than taking their taxes. I want the guy who doesn't really need or want the job. And Joe Biden desperately needs this job because the other stop, it's the old folks' home. And it's nice. They have pergolas. We saw them on CNN. But he'd rather be relevant until the state of being catatonic.
Steven,
okay,
Sunsetter.
We have to go right now not to a commercial. We are going to play for the first time, I believe, in 2 years. Hipster or Hobo. Let's go.
Hipster or Hobo. No.
What just happened? Did
Huh?
we just
Who
lose
stopped?
the hipster or hobo segment?
No.
Oh no!
Did everything stop?
Just the
it just froze on a guy peeing.
singer.
No.
Can we try it again?
Let me try it.
Let's see if we try it again.
Hipster hobo.
Oh my God!
How did we lose?
This is
that?
the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Ever. Ever.
Yeah.
This hurts.
This is worse than SARS, and
Wasn't
that's
that
really what
Elizabeth
bothers me
Smart
most
visited?
about COVID-19 is that I can't make SARS jokes anymore.
Maybe we should all just sing
that's
the
true.
intro too.
Well, but no, we
You
need-
first.
We did-
It's like China demanding we fund the World Health Organization.
Yeah.
You go first, Brendan.
I bet you do it.
Can you sing it for us? Let's go.
remember.
Come on.
It's hipster or hobo.
Hipster or hobo. Okay, we can do that.
I wish I knew.
Hipster or hobo. Some
I don't know. I'm looking at you.
Some are obnoxious assholes. Some will destroy the value of your property.
Totally.
And copyright strike.
Yeah, there
Thank
we
you.
go.
That was a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you were awful, but it was a good idea.
Yeah,
No, actually, he wasn't
I'm here
bad.
to make you shine.
Brendan can sing.
Yeah.
Anyone else notice that? Even uncomfortable
it.
and
That's
with a
nice.
mask on,
He's
he
the
can
masked
sing.
singer.
Okay, so for people who don't know, can we play the game though? Do we know if those work?
Oh yeah. yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we can play the game.
So for people who aren't familiar, this is actually, I've noticed there's a striking, this was 2 years ago, now kind of everyone else knows this, striking similarity between hobos and hipsters, to the point where it's almost difficult to tell the difference.
yeah, it's almost impossible.
And
It's a tough
so
game.
what is going to happen right now is Quarter Black Garrett and Audio Wade, they are going to show us a picture,
bringing it.
and we are all going to have to guess if it's a hipster or hobo.
Okay.
And the one with the highest score gets absolutely nothing in return.
Oh.
Gets to end this program.
Are
it's like
you
soccer.
ready, sir?
All right, let's go. Number
number
one.
one.
Let's see this. Okay, is that a hipster or a hobo?
It's a nice mug.
What do you think, Brendan? Hipster or hobo?
Looks like a hipster trying to look like Jon Snow.
Oh, good call.
that's
Quarter Black
interesting.
Garrett, what do you think?
Context.
I'm thinking hobo.
Okay.
I'm thinking hobo because the long hair. He's got that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Blanket.
hobo too.
Hipster.
Okay, here's what I will say. I'm going to say hipster because I'm looking at that tumbler and I'm seeing a two-tone. It looks like underneath
Oh,
his
that's
pinky,
true.
Yeah.
it's a different tone, like it could be a clean canteen.
You could have found it.
Or
Who
it could be a
knows?
hydro flask, so I'm going to say hipster.
All right,
All
ready?
right, let's
Hipster.
find out.
That one is a hobo indeed, just third grade math, no GED.
Oh, wow.
Man, he
Yeah,
found
I was
a,
surprised, but the thing is,
nice
That one.
I was right in my assessment. That's a
That's
hobo
true.
who does take he pays great attention to drinkware.
Yeah.
You got to
He's a
keep your
good
drink safe.
photographer.
You were hold on. So
Is
you
he
were wrong.
sponsored? Is that hobo
until you were
sponsored
right.
by Tervis?
He's getting all the hobos
All right, so
on board with
who
Tervis.
bet hobo?
That was me.
I was going
it
You
did.
two. All right,
Those-
so you guys
those three.
2-0.
Got
Okay,
two.
Those
let's
three.
show us another one.
Ready for the
Hipster or
second one.
hobo.
Here we
Let's
go.
see what
Let's
this
do
is.
it.
Oh, that's a trick.
This is a different game.
That's a trick.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
That's a trick.
we probably shouldn't play the clip on that one.
Should we not?
I don't know. I don't know.
You know what? I hate that I have been put in the position right now where I have to make a judgment call without all the information
Right.
available to me because we could lose our jobs. But
Yeah.
I'm going to call it. We're going to do it. I think that is a transgender hipster.
Hipster.
Because
think
hobos
that's where to
cannot
go.
afford the hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all
think
think
it's
it's
accurate.
State, it could
Sure.
be
Go
state
ahead.
funded.
Let's check.
Yeah,
It could
could be,
state
let's see.
funded.
Let us know.
Here we go.
That one is a trick joke, you see. He's neither of them, just a tranny. He, she.
Oh, that's.
We
Two
knew it.
years
I
ago.
will say this. I appreciate you looking out, Audio Wave.
I was
Yeah.
trying.
He tried.
I appreciate
I
you
really
trying.
tried.
You threw
Good
me a
looking out.
lifeline, and I was like the guy. You threw me the lifesaver, and I was like, no,
Yeah, get that lifesaver out of my face.
I don't need it.
no. Someone handed me the floaties. And they're like, I don't need a kickboard.
As you drown.
All right, number
Okay,
three.
That was
let's go to number
Scott.
three. Let's see
Here
this
we
one.
go.
Yeah, let's wash the taste out of our mouth in that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like this one is so obvious.
It's gotta be,
that
right?
it's a
Well, I mean,
hipster that it should be a
gotta
hobo.
be
Yeah, there are no lenses, but is it just because he can't afford the lenses?
That's
How do you
true.
know there are no lenses?
That's either a hipster or Ted Bundy. I can't tell.
Here's also the wrench that's been tossed into these plans. That could either be a hipster who purchased Warby Parker glasses, or it could be a hobo who was donated Warby Parker glasses.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are just tons of hobos walking around with Tom's shoes and Warby Parker glasses.
They are.
and we thought it was a style statement.
It's not.
It's not.
It's just sadness.
If you go to Skid Row, you're like, is this an outdoor? Is this a coffee house or a beer
it's a
garden? Like,
market.
no, it's just wonderful companies.
Feces.
It's compassionate capitalism.
Did you get these for free or for $300?
Yes. After
the
someone
hipster
paid
way.
$300, you got it for
I think
free.
it's so obvious that it's a hipster.
It's got to be hipster.
But
Right?
I'm going
It's
to
gotta
say,
be.
what do you think, Brendan?
I feel like it's trying to be a trick question. And it's
Yeah,
not.
so
I
I'm
think
willing to
it's just a
bet
hipster.
it's just. You think it's a hipster?
Oh yeah,
Straight hipster.
I don't know. You could be right. You see, you're playing 4D chess here. You're thinking.
No, that's my.
I think no, you don't play any chess.
4D chess.
You play backgammon with a wall.
Yeah,
that's hard.
I am going to say that it is just a very attractive hobo.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Going
How
out on
about
a limb.
well
Here we go.
kept?
That one is a hipster, you see. You should have known by his fair trade tee.
And a white supremacist.
With the
a white supremacist. That is wrong.
I couldn't know that his
is
tea
wrong.
was fair trade.
Hipster, baby. Got it.
Anybody
right.
who takes a photo and lifts the blue curve to get rid of the blacks, just like that's a hipster.
It's wrong.
Computers.
No. Okay.
What are you talking about?
It's a niche.
I hate all that is this right now. Okay, let's do one more. Let's call it a tiebreaker. I don't think anyone's getting this right. So let's see this last one for Hipster Hobo. You can play along with us. Well, that's not fair. We're not even seeing facial features.
I'm going to say that beard's too coiffed.
The neck is clean.
It's too nice.
The neck is clean. I don't.
Right.
Wait a second. We haven't seen a single hobo yet. Not one hobo yet.
The very first one was a hobo.
The first one?
Didn't look like it.
Oh,
but
it was the Tervis-sponsored hobo.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's right. It was the hobo / Yeti cooler model.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to. Well, then in that case, I'm going to say hipster here.
Hobo.
Okay.
You going home?
What do you think?
I'm
Brendan?
going hipster too.
Okay. All right. I love how I have to cue him every
be.
time.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brendan? Okay. He's been good at this game, though. That's what I'm saying.
far.
Brendan is
Yeah, he's
brilliant.
pretty spot on.
He's a sleeper.
He knows his hobos.
He's a dark horse in all of this. He just can't cook spaghetti noodles well.
No.
He burns them to a crisp.
Oh boy.
Why did you try to cook spaghetti noodles? You just threw them in a pot.
No
You thought it was
water.
like bread.
Well, I've been
Really?
told that it's incorrect to call them spaghetti noodles.
It's not
redundant.
correct at all, yeah. Mostly because it was actually penne. It wasn't spaghetti at all.
No.
He thinks that spaghetti is a synonym for pasta. Okay, we all agree. We all say hipster. Let us know.
That one is a hipster indeed. He wears wool scarves and 95 degrees. What a day.
Oh, geez.
I mean, you could.
By the way, I also know why we didn't
Wow.
play this before, because it is entirely. It is a gross violation.
It's wrong.
Of,
Yeah,
of
it's evil.
copyright.
Almost every rule.
Of copyright, of trademark infringement, and the entire Paul Simon and Garfunkel catalog,
Sorry,
as
Paul.
well as just human decency.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It's very sad.
I'm not
I got that
happy
one wrong.
about
A little
it.
sad.
All right. Well, listen. Do we have any chats? Like a good chat to send us out? Otherwise, we're just going to go out and we
Yeah.
have to do the personality test.
Yeah,
political
so
correctness test tonight.
if Joe Biden gets lost in the woods, who would you like to see as the Democratic front runner? Thank you for all the extra content, Jordan T.
Okay, I will say this. I would, if Joe Biden, can you read that again? If Joe Biden gets lost in the
Lost in the
woods.
woods.
Lost
Who would
in
you
the
like to
woods.
see as the Democratic nominee?
Okay, I would like to see whoever drove him out and left him in the woods.
Yes.
That is the person who I would like to see, because it would give us at least a Democrat with a little bit of chutzpah.
Yeah.
That someone has the
balls.
nerve to recognize a problem. Thy name is Joe Biden, so I'm going to drive him to the Ozarks
go.
and let him fend for himself, which you know he can't.
Yeah, he's not the
That's
Revenant.
the person who I want to
you
be.
go.
And of course, we know it can't be Bernie. He can't drive because
course.
of cataracts. So my guess is it would be what's his name? What's his name here?
Yang?
Beto. Francis O'Rourke.
Beto?
So there you go. Bring me Francis Beto O'Rourke, because he did a good job dropping Joe Biden off in the Ozarks.
Good job.
That is what I want to see.
Yeah.
That's the level of political discourse. Okay, we do have to get going tonight. We will be taking the political compass quiz because you asked for it. I'm not happy about it. And of course, the live show tomorrow at 8 p.m. loudofcutter.com/schedule, so you can follow us. We'll see you tonight. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.